Hello everyone, welcome back to the Excel 2016 training. In this video, we will look at entering data. Here is the employees workbook that we'll use in this video. We've already seen that a workbook or a worksheet contains rows and columns, and the intersection of a row and a column is the cell. It is the cell that contains the actual text, and that is where you enter the data. So now when it comes to entering data, of course you can go to the cell directly and enter the data, or you can use a formula bar. Let us first see how we can enter data into the cell directly. We'll first take a case of an empty cell. For example, B14. Here, let's say I want to enter data. All I'm doing is moving my mouse, selecting the cell, and I'm entering the data. Say for example, right? Now the active cell is B16, but I'm using my mouse to go to B15 and double clicking it. So all I did was I double clicked on the cell. Now that became active and I can start entering the data. Now we were just trying to enter data into an empty cell. Now let's see what happens when you try to enter data into a cell that already has data. Say let's go back to B14. Here now again I have a couple of options. I can select the cell and start entering the data. So when I selected the cell and start entering the data, it overwrote on the data. That means the previous value is gone, now you have the new value. Now, when you double click, it's a little bit different. Say for example, the B15, let's say my active cell, let's say this E16 is my active cell, and now I want to enter or modify or edit data in B15. When I double click on it, as you can see, it does not modify anything, does not change anything to the existing data, and it'll put your cursor at the very end. So it's almost like appending. Now you can say, when you select a cell and start entering the data, it will overwrite. So the previous value is gone. And when you double click, you do get an option. By default, it will put your cursor at the end, but you can always, move the cursor to a desired location and start, modifying the data within the cell. Now there is another way to enter the data as well, which is using your formula bar. Say for example, you want to enter data into C14. So of course you'll select the cell first and then move your mouse and go to formula bar, and that's where you enter the data. So as you enter the data into the formula bar, it appears within your cell. Now when it comes to double clicking and going to the cell, you can double click the data, double click the cell and enter the data into the cell as you have seen a minute ago, or double click on the cell and then you can also go to formula bar, or you can select the cell and then go to formula bar and you can start entering the data. Of course, while in the formula bar, it's almost like a text box, so you do have freedom to move around and edit as you like. And this comes real handy when you actually handle cells with large amounts of text, or the actual formula for you to edit. Well, that's a quick introduction into entering data. We'll also look at how we can enter date and time, little bit of data types, meaning text versus time, text versus and numeric value, all that in the upcoming videos. Thank you. I will see you in the next video.